Hey everybody, this is Jory, and I just want to invite you with me for a few moments here on the back porch. Pour myself a cup of coffee, ready for you guys, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what I posted earlier. And what I posted about was I met with a pastor one time, and he asked a really, really great question. And that question was, Jory, if you could do anything you wanted to do and money were not an issue, what would you do? And before I get to the rest of that story, I want to backtrack just for a moment. And please stay with me. Stay with me. This is important. For some of you out there, you're really seeking God's purpose for your life. You're seeking his calling over you. Maybe you're not a believer, or a Christian, but you know that there's something more that you're missing in life. And so I remember getting up early, and this is how desperate I was. I would get up early on a Saturday morning, and I would go again. I grabbed my cup of coffee, and after I was done with my coffee, when the library opened up, I would go listen to. I'd get on the computer, I'd log on, and I would listen to sermon after sermon. And I was a good student. I would sit there and listen to the teaching, and I would get my pen, and I had my journal, and I would sit there and I would take meticulous notes and thoughts and ideas, and I would write that down, and I would spend probably 3/4 of the day listening to one sermon, to a good positive message, to reading and journaling on everything. And I remember it satisfied me there for a little bit, but I also remember I would leave and just go, but what do I do with this? What do I do with all this information? And so it got to the point where I was just, I don't know what to do. And so I would pray and journal and do all those things. And I finally called up a pastor and just said, hey, pastor, I really need to sit and talk and just process with you because I'm struggling here. And to be transparent, I had struggled with my vocation and my career for a long time because I just didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. And so I met with this pastor at Starbucks in Phoenix, Arizona, on Bethany Home and 19th Avenue. And I remember sitting across from him. It was about 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I'd just gotten off work, and he proceeds to ask me the question, Jory, if you could do anything that you wanted to do and money were not an issue, what would be that thing? And I remember without hesitation, it just came out of my mouth. And I just said, you know what? You know what I would do? I'd grab a cup of coffee and I'd be meeting with people across the table just like you're meeting with me. That's what I would do. And it shocked me when I said that. It really did. And what was the shock? It was deep inside of me, he touched a nerve that was wanting to be awakened. And I remember thinking like, wow, that came out of nowhere. And so that being said, I remember leaving that place going, I need to have a cup of coffee and I need to meet with people and I need to help them get connected to their story. I need to help them live out the calling and purposes that they're supposed to be living, to help them get connected and then also get aligned. If maybe they were in a career, or they had a family and they kind of lost track and they weren't pursuing the calling that God had for them, how could they get back on track? So to this day, the favorite thing I love to do is I like to have that cup of coffee, but more importantly, I like to encourage people into their destiny. And if you're someone out there that is really struggling, my goal is to super serve you. And I want to be a guide to come alongside you and help you get clarity. So if you're reading all the books like I did, if you're listening to all the sermons and it's not just clicking, if you're praying and you're praying, sometimes you just need that little bit of push. Sometimes you need somebody to ask you some good questions, and it's valid. It changed my life and it can change yours. So I just want to make myself available. Hey, just message me. Let's get on a phone call. Let's just talk. Let's figure out what God's up to in your life, and let's see if I can help you. Let's just do that. Be bold, be strong. I'm not sitting here saying that I know everything in the world, but hey, I know a lot, and I think I could help you. In fact, I know I can because I've been there and done that, and I'm passionate about this. And so if you're someone that is, again, reading the books and you're doing all the things and you just need to talk to a friend and you need somebody to process with you, man, I would be honored. Pull up a seat, grab your coffee. Let's have a conversation and let's get you to a place where you are living your story. Have a good day, guys.